You know, there's nothing like being in the green room. This is where all the magic takes place. I know y'all already have read about Toni Harris Taylor, but let me take a moment and let me just ask the question, which is, who is Toni Harris Taylor? And more importantly, what is she up to these days? That's what we want to know.
Well, I'm so happy to be here, Shay. Thank you so much. I am the happy entrepreneur. I am very happy entrepreneur. My name is Toni Harris Taylor from Houston, Texas, and I'm a sales and marketing coach. And we are going to talk about how to help you get drastic results in your life and your business.
You know, Toni, you're talking about drastic results, and I know it's an acronym, but drastic means different things to different people. So when you use the word drastic for the single mom that's worked all day and now is working on her business all night, for the married couple that had to put the kids to bed or they were trying to get some couple time, but they're watching right now. Thank you. They're tuned in, and they're like, gosh, when she says drastic results, what does she mean by that? Like, I don't want to wait. Well, let's ask her the question. What does drastic results really mean?
So the word drastic permeates everything that I do because it is who I am and what I teach my clients. And I am of the belief, and it is my point of view, that no one is successful without getting drastic. They have to get drastic, whatever that means, like the single mom working all night when she would rather be asleep. In order to have their level of success. So tonight, I'm going to share with you my drastic steps that I recommend to have success, especially around marketing and sales, because Shay, our business owner community, they love what they do. They're smart at what they do. They're very good at what they do. They just don't want to market it or sell it. And so we're going to help them get out of their head into their heart about getting their stuff out into the world, which is drastic for a lot of your listeners and viewers.
Can you take a minute? And it's probably an unfair question because I know we got a show. We're going to get going. But folks will be wondering, okay, drastic results. I've got a lot of priorities. How does Toni Harris Taylor manage priorities? Like with so much stuff going on, so many people pulling at her time, how does she manage, I don't want to say time, but how does she manage her priorities? So can you share, and again, ladies and gentlemen, she said we can ask any question we want. Can you share kind of like what's some of your principles so that you can just be able to manage multiple things at any given point in time?
And you must be like right here with me because you already know that I've got multiple things going on. And some people will say I might not do a great job at that. So I have to be transparent because I'm always having to examine my time, my energies, where I'm putting my priorities, my efforts. Of course, my spiritual time is very important to me. And so I have to block out the time for my spirituality. My family is very important to me, but I am not going to lie. I am a workaholic, and they often are like, you is working again. But I love what I do. So sue me. I'm grateful to have a career that I created where I get to help people, and I love what I do. So managing the priorities is drastic for me. And that's by definition what drastic means. When you have to buy out time from something you'd rather be doing, like watching television and, doing things that are not getting you closer to your goals, than, just doing what you would rather be doing. So I am managing my priorities, but it's a work in progress for me. I have to be very transparent because I love my work. I really love my work.
I'm super excited. I can't wait. Look, for those folks out there like Kelvin that's watching up there in New York, we appreciate you so much. Thanks so much for being here. Sandra down in Charlotte, North Carolina. It is always a pleasure. Thank you, Paul. I see you down in Miami. For everyone that's tuning in right now, we've got a show. We're going to get started. And as soon as we get started on the other side, don't worry. She says she has these steps. We're going to find out what's holding people back. I can't wait. We got a show to get going. We got to get going in 5, 4. It's my favorite part. 3, 2, 1. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win.
Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission is to empower. Our mission is to inspire. And our mission really to provide you, that's right, you, the entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And I like to always share that I believe you have 3 visions. I think I do this almost every show, right? I believe first you have a vision for yourself. There's a certain home that you want to live in. I like mine with air conditioning, by the way, in the summertime. There's certain food that you've got to have. Hopefully it's organic and healthy. There's a certain lifestyle that you want, and it takes resources, which means it takes some revenue to make that a reality. And then I believe there's a second vision you have. You have a vision for those you love the most, your loved ones. I'm blessed. Mother dear is 74 years old, very healthy, very happy, has all her faculties, and I get a chance to hang out with her. She's 15 minutes down the road, by the way. She orders from Amazon. I'd like to share that, by the way. That Amazon card is connected to something, and I don't think she even has any idea, by the way. She loves that. She's into ordering groceries and everything. But you might want to send your kids to a school of your choice. It takes some revenue to do that. You might want to write a check for someone's health care insurance or write a check for a cause you believe in. It takes revenue to purchase those resources to make it reality. I know I'm coming back to revenue. I get it. And I believe there's a third vision you have. You have a vision for the people you were called to serve. And I like to always start off by talking about Noah in the Bible. And you don't have to be a believer, but it's one of my favorite stories. I happen to be a believer, but you don't have to be one to get the point. But imagine you're Noah in the Bible, and you're ready for this mission. And God's giving you all the experience. That might be you, by the way. He's giving you all the expertise. That might be you, by the way. And before you get started, because you don't have to do this, you could have been like Noah. Noah could have got a little boat, put some chickens in there, put a couple goats in there. Some of y'all want some hog up in that camp, and he would have been just fine with his family. But no, he had to do something for somebody bigger than himself. And imagine before Noah got started, imagine there's a knock at the door. And it's like boom, boom, boom. And someone says, "Yo, Noah." They did say yo back in the day, just so y'all know that. "Yo, Noah, there's a problem. There's no hammers in the house." No hammers? I'm not worried about that. And imagine there was another knock at the door. Bam, bam, bam. And someone said, "Shorty." They used to say shorty back in the day. I want you to know that, by the way. There's no nails in the house. No hammer, no nails. Rule number 1, I don't panic. And then there's someone in the back, and they're yelling, "Noah, back here. Noah, me. Like, what? What's going on? No, I'm sorry to report, but there's no wood, and there's no people to put the boat together. Good luck on this mission." And maybe that's you. You got a big heart. You're ready to get going, but there's no revenue to get the resources. So this morning, this evening, this afternoon, Toni Harris Taylor showed up for one reason only, and that's to get you drastic results. This is your time. The resources are in the building right now. What's going on, Toni Harris? How are you?
I'm wonderful, Shay. Thank you so much. You are so full of energy at 11 o'clock at night.
Well, it depends on where you are in the world.
What are you taking? Give me some of that.
I love you. Look, can we just address the elephant in the room? The elephant in the room is Toni Harris says you can get drastic results. Even during these times of uncertainty, these times of what's going on in the world, can you take a moment and talk about what's the biggest challenge that people have that you've seen just getting drastic results? I mean, they've been told they got to get results, and it's not the first time they've heard they got to get some results, yet they still aren't getting the results they want. What's one of the challenges you've seen with all the clients you work with that you've seen that holds people back?
They don't want to get out of their comfort zone. They don't want to get uncomfortable. They want to stay where it's nice and cozy and warm. And it's the underlying thing there is fear, right? What if it doesn't work? What if I spend money and I don't do the work? So they've talked themselves out of it before they even got started. And so that's what I see the most. People are fearful. They want to stay in their comfort zone, but then they want to have, and we all know this, they want to have different results but stay the same, which is impossible. We know that philosophically. We know that when we say it, but when it comes to taking action, people get stuck. And so they trust that the system, their job's going to be there for them. And they just don't make a choice until they're forced to. So I like to encourage people to always think drastically, which means that whenever you're going to whatever your next level is, you got to get out of your comfort zone and get over the fear, feel the fear, and move forward anyway.
I love it. Feel the fear and move forward anyway. All right. They're on the edge right now. I'm on the edge. For those folks that are out there, do me a favor. We're going to ask her to break down Drastic, at least share one step. Okay, she's got to share one. Don't worry. We're going to ask her that. But before we do that, do me a favor. Hit the share button. Pay this message forward to someone else. We believe in the giver's economy. The person that outgives the competition out-earns the competition. Let me say that again so you can hear that.
Absolutely.
The person that outgives the competition out-earns the competition. So take your two thumbs if you're watching this on your phone right now. Just hit the share button. There's no credit card needed. There's no Cash App, no Zelly. Just do that. Or some of you are watching on your computers. So just hit the share button and pay it forward. Toni came to help not only business owners, but individuals have drastic results. So I'm going to let her take a moment, break down what in the LL Cool J is Drastic. What is that acronym? And then give you one idea. And you really only need one idea to change your life. So I'm going to turn it over to Toni in a moment and say, Toni, take it away. Break down what is Drastic, the acronym, and then share one idea if you would. I'm super excited. I want drastic results.
The D is determine where you need to go. We won't get into our car without turning on GPS to see the direction we need to go. So many times I talk to entrepreneurs who want to work, they are coming to work with me. I said, what's your goal? Crickets, right? I guess it's $100,000. Well, is it? Or you guess it is. They don't know what their goals are. They don't know what direction they're headed. And how can I, as a coach, help you get there if you don't have a clue where you're trying to go? So the D is determine where you want to go so you can have someone like me point you in the right direction. And I'm often surprised. The other thing is you got to know your numbers. So many entrepreneurs, it's just kind of like, I get what I get. And that's why they don't get their sales. That's why they don't make the money they want to make, because it's just kind of haphazard. I get what I get. So determine where you want to go and, point in that direction. So that's the D.
So step number one is determine where you want to go. Determine where you want to go. You got to make that determination right now. I'm going to ask Toni if we can slow down for a moment, and then we'll speed up. And I'm going to say some of you, I know you might not know who Toni is. You're meeting her for the very first time. And some of you are listening on the podcast. We appreciate you. Some of you listen on Apple TV. Some of you on Roku. Some of you might be watching live right now. So I'm going to ask her, for you out there saying, determine where you want to go, drastic results. What does Toni know about this? Can she share something about her personally that's brought her to this point? I think that's a reasonable request. I think it's a reasonable time. So, Toni, take a moment if you can. And just for the folks that are just hearing your voice for the first time, they've tuned in, they want drastic results, and they just want to know, like, who is Toni as they're listening? Yeah.
And what does she know about being drastic?
Yeah, so, I think that's fair.
Okay, that's fair. I'm Toni Harris Taylor out of Houston, Texas. I am a marketing and sales coach, and I help entrepreneurs to get known, get connected so they can make six figures and beyond. The biggest problem that many entrepreneurs have is nobody knows who they are. They don't have a network. They're not connected, and they feel like they need to make cold calls, which nobody wants to do. And so I teach the relationship building strategies to help you to grow. Besides that, I own a networking organization. I am a franchise owner for Network in Action. And Network in Action is an organization that brings together business owners to help them build relationships so that they can bring each other warm referrals. And the third hat I wear is I'm a TV talk show host. So I launched my TV show in February and I love it. It is for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs. I say this, Shay, the hardest things that we could sign up for is marriage, children, and entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And so my show is to help entrepreneurs stay in the game. And while I interview lots of successful entrepreneurs around the world, and share their stories so they can encourage and inspire you as well. So, and you can catch that on Facebook. My page is Drastic Results with Toni Harris Taylor. You can go like the page, turn on the notifications, and like it or subscribe to YouTube so you can get my show dropped in your box. So that's who I am and what I do.
Man, thanks so much for sharing that. And, as we spin the wheel of Drastic, right, you could pick any letter on there, and we're spinning the wheel, and folks are like, okay, I determined where I want to go. And this time I was listening to her, I said, yeah, I think I know what I want to do. What's next? That's a good question. Let's go over to Toni and see what letter she picks out, because you want drastic results, and Toni and her organization, well, they're the team to get you drastic results now.
So so the R is relationships, and it's all about networking and building relationships. And you said it earlier, being a giver before you receive. And I'm a 15-year certified networker, but I did not always like networking. In fact, I hated it. I would go to networking events and I'd put my face on and comb my hair and pass out a bunch of business cards, go back to the office and wait for people to call me. And that never happened, of course. And so I had to invest in myself to learn how to build relationships and networks so that I could turn those contacts into contracts, which I got from Mr. George Fraser, by the way. And so I now teach people how to do the same. Now, Shay, people say to me, Toni, the good old boys, they share deals between themselves and they don't include us, they don't. So go create your own network, create your own good old boys system, whatever that is. See, everybody's mad at the good old boys because they golf together, they fish together, they hunt together, they have family barbecues before the deals come. And then when the deals come, they know who they're going to share it with. As entrepreneurs, we don't spend enough time building relationships and having a giving first mentality. We are all out there, we're networking, but we're trying to see what we can sell. If we can just build relationships, have a give first mentality, you will definitely receive. That's just the law of the universe. So I tell my clients all the time, focus on building relationships and the business will come. Now, I have some clients in my networking group right now. I'm so proud of them. They are drastic steppers. They started networking together, and some of them weren't even networkers. And now they're business brothers and sisters, right? 8 of them have moved out of their home-based office into a office community where I'm sitting right now. 8 of them have taken that drastic step, and it's all because they were encouraged by each other to do the same. And they're just growing by leaps and bounds, not only money-wise, but mentally. And they are just, they're taking drastic steps and getting drastic results, all because they form their own network. It's really a key to success.
So the two things we heard. First, we heard for those folks out there, you can look right below the video and write that down. First thing we heard is that you've got to be determined, or you have to determine where you're going. So you have to know where you're going. Love that. And then she came back and said it's about relationships. And how true is that? And I guess the follow-up question would be, in this virtual world, how have you seen this connection of relationships change? Obviously, there's the obvious, but what are some nuances that you're seeing that folks are still able to meet folks that they never met before, still able to build a connection, and then still be able to do exactly what you said, was take that connection from just, I met you, I like you, you're cool, to no, there's another level. So can you kind of walk through that a little bit for those folks that are listening, saying, yeah, but I can't go to events anymore, and I don't know when I'm going back, for whatever that person may be, or how can I optimize, like in today's time, like right now, how I'm meeting people to build a stronger connection?
Well, I will tell you, the gift that the pandemic gave us is it extended our borders to no borders. And I believe that now we have a better opportunity than we had before, because now we can network and connect with people all over the world. Week before last, I had a interview like this one from somebody in Kenya, Africa. Well, you know what? That's one of my dream vacations. So found this lady and we had a conversation, and now we are connected. If I decide I want to go there, I have a connection there to help me. Last week had an interview in the UK. It's been wonderful. So we have to not look at, and I talk to my network and my family all the time. Don't look at what you can't do. Focus on what you can do. Now, I will tell you, networking virtually is a skill. It is not, you got to be drastic. For instance, number one mistake I see people making, they come on these networking events, virtual Zoom events, and keep their camera off. But, right? Nobody can build a relationship with a profile picture or a name. Right? Yeah. So put your face on, dress from the chest up. Y'all don't have a clue what's going on below here. And I'm okay with that. But dress from the chest up and show up, which is the S in Drastic, by the way. So you gotta show up, you gotta be up, you gotta follow up to blow up. Show up, be up, follow up to blow up. Turn the camera on. Be prepared with your script, with your elevator pitch. Put that in a Word document with the links. Copy and paste that into chat so that you are not recreating or just putting your name and phone number in the chat. You want something interesting that'll pique someone's interest and say, oh, I would like to meet that person. Then you got to be super drastic and super bold and use your right-click mouse button and right-click on their video and send them a private chat and say, hey, I heard you introduce yourself, and I would like to connect with you after this event. Here's my calendar link. Have it ready. Please schedule 30 minutes for us to get to know each other. And you can, if you repeat that and you do that 5 times every time you're in a meeting, your network will grow exponentially. It's a beautiful thing.
I love how you just laid out the system step by step, exactly what you can do. For those folks that are out there, you're listening, go ahead and pay this message forward. Like as you're watching right now, hit the share button. When you hit the share button, like hit it now. When you hit that share button and that window pops up, just write the word serve and add value. Just say serve and add value. And then that, what we're getting from Toni Harris Taylor right now, she's serving, she's adding value, but she's helping all of us, myself included, reach drastic results. And how is your life different now that you get drastic results? She's gave 2. That's a lot. And she even stuck in a third one to show up. But I'm going to ask her one more idea. Like, as you're out there right now, we all want drastic results. Only champions are watching right now. Only the winners are watching right now. Only people that believe they have the potential inside of them to go to a much higher level are watching now. You want drastic results? You've got the drastic results person sitting right there. So Toni, if you can, indulge us in the time that we have with one more. And how you give a digital applause, hit the share button right now. Like, someone else can get results as a result of just tuning in and hearing the message from Toni. Toni will change your life if you let her. Over to
And
you.
I'll give you the rest of the letters at the Comeback Summit, okay? But I'm going to give you one more, and that is the C. Control the things you can change and let the rest go. Control the things you can change and let the rest go. And so what that means is that there's some circumstances like the pandemic we could not change. So we had to work within those parameters of the pandemic. And some of us, you yourself, Shay, have done a great job of pivoting and making it work for you. But sometimes what I find is people worry too much about the things they have no control over. Move on, right? Pray over it, lay hands on it, and move on and work on the things you can control. And mostly the thing you can control is you. And pretty much that's it. You can't control weather, circumstances, other people. Only thing you can control is you and how you react and what you do and what activities you take. That's what you can do to move yourself forward. You can control you and then leave the rest to the rest.
Leave the rest to the I like that. Control the controllables. So she gave you 4. She said determine, right, where you want to go. Number 2 was what? Relationships. So you kind of understand you got to build relationships. She snuck in a third one and said you've got to show up. Like, Shay, part of life is just showing up.
Absolutely.
But then when you show up, don't show up worried. Don't show up concerned. Don't show up wondering what's going to happen. You control your controllables. You control your mindset, and you control your actions. You have complete control of it. Isn't that a good feeling? Well, I tell you, don't worry. I'm going to ask Toni how you can follow her, how you can connect with her. I'm going to do that. But we do have a segment, and the segment is called Today is My January 1st as we transition. And today is my January 1st. For those folks that are hearing it for the first time, we'll tell you what it is. For those folks that know what I'm about to do, you can look right below the video right now. You can write those words. Today is my January 1st. Today is my January 1st. And for others that want to know, what is it? Today is my January 1st represents one of those dates on the calendar where you don't wait for it to say January 1st. You create a January 1st moment. Anytime you make a decision, and that decision could change the trajectory of your life. And it's probably about 1,000 decisions that you make, and any one of them will change your life. You make a decision, you're going to work out. That's a January 1st moment. Or you're going to sit back, you're going to binge watch and watch Netflix, Prime Video, Hulu. You make a decision, you're going to eat hamburgers and French fries. I know you don't eat that. Salt, pepper, some of you, ketchup. My sons want hot sauce. Or you make a decision that you're going to open up the refrigerator, and inside there's some kale. Tastes good, don't it? There's some Brussels sprouts. There's some broccoli. That's a January 1st moment. It's a do-over. January 1st is a fresh start. It means my past no longer equals my future. My question, obviously, to Toni, which you hear those words, today is my January 1st. What goes to her mind? What is she thinking?
I think that on January 1st, we should make that drastic day. So every January 1st, people are taking drastic steps. They just don't call it that. So I think that every January 1st, today should be your drastic day, meaning you should take some drastic steps, whatever that is for you, right? And sometimes it's the easy thing, right? Like setting the alarm so you can get up a little bit earlier to work out. Or, I have written one of these books over here. I've written those in 7 days by setting my alarm. That's drastic, right? So, yeah, make every January 1st your drastic day to do something that you would not have ordinarily have done, but it will get you one step closer to your goal.
Today is your January 1st. They're listening right now, and they're wondering, wow, does Tony's firm even take on any clients? Like, what type of clients does Tony's firm work with, number one? And number two, how can they best connect with you? And you, as you're listening, do me a favor, hit the share button. If you haven't done it yet, if you did it before, hit it again. Hit the share button. Pay this message forward to someone else. Listen to Tony with two ears. Number one, hey, is this for me? And then listen with the other ear. Who can benefit from this? Where can Tony add value in someone's life that you know? Tony, tell them how to connect with you and tell what type of clients that you work with so they're clear.
Okay, so my target market is entrepreneurs, typically coaches, speakers, authors, trainers, experts in your field. You sell your expertise. That's my target client. And you can connect with me at drasticresults.com. That's my website. All of my socials are there. My calendar link is there. You can sign up and get my free video series on networking to turn contacts to contracts. Drasticresults.com is the simplest way to find me. You certainly can find me on Facebook as well. Drastic Results with Toni Harris Taylor, and go and like my page. And then I would like to encourage all of you all to join my Facebook group, the Six Figure Network, for coaches, speakers, authors, trainers, the Six Figure Network. So go look that up and you can join my group as well.
I'm encouraging all of you, make sure you connect with the one and only, the Toni Harris Taylor. Drastic Results, that's the place to be. We're moving to a segment now called Rapid Fire. Rapid Fire is we get to ask any question that we want. And, of course, Toni can either accept the question and answer it, or she can pass it on to someone else, right? But one of my favorite questions to ask, of course, they're all my favorite. I wouldn't ask them, I'm sure. But this is really my favorite question, which is, of all the mentors, Toni, that you had on this journey of life, and you've had so many mentors, what's one lesson you learned from any of your mentors that you want to pass on to us? And you at home, you like lean in. If you're watching on your phone, just lean into your phone. Like lean in, because she's going to share with you one of the lessons. You may never meet her mentor, but you get to walk away with the lesson that she's holding near and dear to her that she's passing on to you. Over to you, Toni.
I think that the lesson that I got from my mentor, and there's a little backstory. I didn't go to college. So I didn't go to college right away. I started college at 43 years old. But when I got this lesson, I had not been to college. And I was a financial advisor, and my managers, multiple, kept saying, you need to invest in a coach. And I was commission based. I didn't know where my next commissions were coming from. And they said, just invest in the coach, the commissions will come. And so at that time, it was 2003, I invested $150 an hour for a session a week, $600 a month that I did not have. And at the end of that year, when I looked back, I made over $170,000. So the invest in yourself, invest in coaching is very the advice I receive and that I give, not because I'm a coach, but because I invested in myself in 2011. That's when I met you, Shay. Right? We would not be here talking if I had not invested in myself and went to that conference, Mr. Frazier's conference.
Oh, yeah.
And then invested in, his brain share program, which got me closer to him. And he ended up coming to Houston to do my book launch. And, so every time I invest in myself, a lot of times I have no clue where the money's coming from. But it's something about investing yourself that makes you show up differently. So it's bigger than just taking money and putting it out there. It's just about how you show up in the world. And I believe that God says if you take one step, He will show you two and three, but you have to make the investment. And so I would encourage your audience to always think drastically and invest in themselves. And everything else will work out. And feel the fear, invest anyway, and invest to where it makes you uncomfortable. I'm not talking about $200 that you, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the investment that makes you uncomfortable. That's where, and you don't have a clue where the money is coming from. That's when it makes all the difference in the world.
I love it. If you're going to bet on yourself. That's the best bet you're going to make. If I'm betting on Shay Brown, that's for sure. So bet on yourself. Love it. So well said. You got two books behind you, and they're looking at the books, and they're like, Shay, is she going to talk about the books? I mean, are you going to ask about one book versus the other book? I mean, she's already talking about Take Drastic Steps.
4 books behind me. This is the one that George Fraser came and helped me launch my book. We got a minute. I want to tell you a story about the Take a Drastic Step book.
Please tell us a story. We love a story.
I would like to tell you the story. So, Mr. Fraser gave me my first national speaking break. And I was determined not to go to the conference without a book. And this was 2012, January 2012, I hired a ghostwriter to help me get my story out. And she interviewed me, and by April, she was going to have my first copy to me. And I started calling her in April, and to this day, I've not heard from her. I see her on social media, but I've not heard from her to this day. So I'm like, I'm not going to that conference without a book. So I contacted another ghostwriter. I said, can you do a book in 30 days? The conference was June 25th. I said, can you do a book in 30 days? She's like, huh? I said, listen, my brand is about being drastic, and I need this book in 30 days. So she said, okay, let's do it. Well, about a couple of days in, after I told her my story, she said, your story is incredible, but I don't have time to develop it. She said, who do you know that's taken drastic steps? I said, well, I have a whole network of people who've taken drastic steps. She said, will they give you their story? I said, I'm sure they will. I started calling my network. Will you tell your story in my book? Will you tell your story in my book? Long story short, in 20 days, I had 17 stories in my Drastic Step book and went to the conference with books in hand in 20 days. Now, I just think it's really interesting that the book is called Sometimes You Take a Drastic Step, and the book itself was a drastic step. So the other 2 small books I wrote in 7 days. Those are tip books. So that's a hint for your audience. This is gold right here. I'm not a publisher. I don't do books, but I've done enough books to know how to do it right. And if you have a acronym like Drastic, you can write 10 to 12, 15 tips for each of the letters. And I got up an hour early, 7 days, and wrote 12 tips per letter. And that was my book. So and then the other book, Strategic Entrepreneurship, was written during COVID last year. My networking group came together and put together a collaboration book during COVID. So see, people around me, you got to be drastic. You got to be ready to be drastic, and you got to be ready to get out of your own way and do something different. So thank you for asking about the books. I'm very proud of them because they each have their own story.
Yeah, I mean, you got it right behind you. I mean, you think we're going to just ignore them? Like they're like strategically behind you. That I can't just ignore that while you're talking. But as we're coming down the home stretch, certainly we appreciate you giving us so much time. We know you can make more money, but you can't make more time. So we have the most precious resource you could possibly give us. Take a moment and tell us, what do you do for fun? When you're not out saving the world, changing entrepreneurs' lives, what does Toni do for fun?
I work in my yard. I like gardening. My husband and I won Yard of the Month last year. And
All right now. All right. Oh,
so,
go ahead.
yes,
We won
yes.
Yard of the Month for our neighbor. Our neighbor has 3 blocks. No, I'm joking. It's more than 3 houses in the neighborhood.
So I like a little bit of gardening. Not I don't do fruits and vegetables,
Yeah.
but I do flowers and plants. And so I enjoy that. And I love to travel. I love to travel.
Cool. Now, when will you get a chance to travel again? I mean, I know some of us haven't traveled
I just
in a while.
returned from a trip. I'm not, I put my mask on and I'm out.
Yes, I like that. I've been traveling as well. I know. I get it. Love what you're doing. Hey, let me just say this. One, we appreciate you. For everyone that's out there, by the way, don't worry. I'm going to ask her to have her closing remarks. But you do me a favor. Here's how you give a digital applause. Hit the share button. Pay this message forward to someone else. For everyone that's out there watching right now, we appreciate you. Judy, who's always in the house, I appreciate you. You're out there watching.
Hi,
I see you. Catherine, I see you. You're out there as well. Thank you so much. Joy Spears is watching. Thank you so much. Toby is watching. Thank you so much. I see you, Monty. So many folks that are tuning in right now. We appreciate every single one of you, but don't hold it to you. Toni's on a mission as well to help as many people as possible. So pay the message forward. Toni, let me say thank you so much again for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. You have a heart to give. You got a heart to serve. You're amazing. You're incredible. Not only are you taking drastic steps, not only are you getting drastic results, but you're making a drastic change in the world. And isn't that what it's all about? It's the legacy you leave behind. So I'm going to turn over you to have your final thoughts, your final comments. Remind the folks once again how to connect with you so they can stay in this conversation over and beyond the conversation we're having now. Over to you. Thank you again.
Thank you, Shay. DrasticResults.com. Connect with me. And I have to give a shout out. Can I shout out?
Sure.
So my daughter just launched her business, and that makes 3 generations of entrepreneurs. My mother's 40-year entrepreneur. And so my daughter makes these custom cups.
You put it on your
And she lays every stone by hand. And her Facebook page is Creations by Morgan B. Creations by Morgan B. And she customized every one. So she doesn't have a store because you get to order it, and the sororities are starting to order, and your logo. So I just want to shout out my daughter because I'm proud of her for doing her thing. And my final thought is always think drastic, always be drastic. Feel the fear, move forward anyway, take the drastic step, because without the drastic step, you stay stuck. And so, and also tune into the Comeback Summit. I am speaking. I have not told you my personal drastic stories. I will be telling that. I've told you my business stuff, but I've not told you my personal stuff. But as a glimpse is I've lost over 90 pounds twice, meaning that I lost 90, gained 100, and I had to come back from that after being in Ebony magazine. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm a 2-time widow, and I've recovered from that. Started college at 43 years old, and I survived my own coma, 10 days. I was in a coma in 2014 and came back to have my most successful year in my business. So, yeah, and thank you for the Comeback Summit, Shay. You're amazing.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for watching. I want you to know that you're all champions. You're all are winners. And for every single one of you, today is your January 1st. You can determine where you're going. Isn't that cool that today is your January 1st? You can build relationships and show up. And for you, today is your January 1st. Put your sunglasses on. The future is bright. And for you, the best is still yet to come. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. With that being said, my name, for those folks who's wondering who's doing all that screaming, my name, by the way, is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. Remember, time is long. Life, on the other hand, is very, very short. So you got to live in that moment, and you got to make it count. God bless. We wish you success. We out of here. Thanks. I'll see you later. Appreciate you, Toni. I can't wait to connect with you again. Drastic Results is in the house. We out of here. Peace. Peace. That's the promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right,
Check.
Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what.
Man.
Got money on my mind, I can
Man.
never get enough. And every time I step
Man.
up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Cause all I do is win, win, win. If you doing it, put your hands
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless.